your way is going to be the way that 87% of people have, walked towards, which is failure. You see that agents are getting out of the business. If you want to join them, then be a complainer, be a bare minimum Mondayer. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 274 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
And finally...
Wow, 2024?
Finally, my spot on NBC News Nightly was up. So,
here we are.
On April the 4th, you and I did a podcast, Nicole.
Yes.
Here on The Real Word, of course, about the bare minimum Monday trend.
And now we're beating
reacted
it
to a Rachel Haidt article. Yep. She thought we were a little hard on the bare
nice about
Monday
her.
minimum.
We're still trying to get her on the show,
right? We still love Rachel on the show.
Be nice.
We're closing this story here, closing the loop. But Rachel, you're still welcome on the show. We've got the dress code thing. We've got the bare minimum Monday. Anyways, we were hard on this bare minimum Mondayer. NBC picked it up. They did a poll on LinkedIn, and they found that 75% of working Americans, Nicole, say they experience the Sunday scaries. So
I watched it. A lot of the segment, it was about this Sunday scaries.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be no different in my mind to like a student. I'm sure students get Sunday scaries, not just worker.
There's an Instagram filter on stories that you can use, and it says Sunday scaries. This is like a thing.
I mean, it's always been a thing, but they're making it a thing.
It's a big thing now, I guess.
I mean, this is a racket.
And
the
so
Sunday scaries.
NBC News Nightly, the Lester Holt show, 6:30.
I do like Lester
on the East Coast. They reached out, and Aaron Gilchrist from the show, he actually interviewed me. Now it was a 15-minute interview.
You got a minute's airtime. Not even. I think the whole segment got a minute.
We'll link the Now BAM article. The whole segment was 2 minutes.
Yes.
I spoke for maybe 15 seconds.
I think you're giving yourself more credit than that. I think you got 5 seconds.
So I thought that was a pretty poor job by NBC, of course.
Oh, because you weren't on it?
Well, because they gave, out of the whole 2 minutes, they gave so much credit to this psychiatrist who's like actually validating the Sunday scary thing. First of all, if you have the Sunday scaries, you're a loser. Period. End of story.
Well, but let's be honest though. I don't think you're a loser because I don't think it's any. I don't think it's any.
You had 2 days off. What's the problem?
I just don't think the Sunday scaries are any different than I think about my boys going. They have a lacrosse game. Like they're having the same exact feelings.
That's called butterflies.
I think Sunday scaries is essentially butterflies.
No. The people so I guess maybe Sunday scaries is, but the bare minimum. Okay, so the people that take it to the next level of bare minimum Monday, who they're just going to screw over their employer, you're holding yourself back. It's just crazy.
Well, it's interesting to me because I think the bare minimum Monday is supposed to help alleviate the Sunday scaries, but then what happens when you go full kill on Tuesday? So then there's going to be the Monday scaries.
Anyways, it leaves more opportunity for everybody else who's actually working. But NBC took 2 seconds of the 15 minutes. I said I wanted to be announced as working for nowbam.com. They didn't do that. I think they're afraid of us taking over the media space.
But they didn't even give the right real estate name.
They didn't even give I never gave them that real estate name. I gave them nowbam.com. So then they asked me explicitly, what do you want to be on the bottom in the interview, and what do you want to be announced as? Nowbam.com, because I want to drive traffic. I said, this is a national spot. Let me drive traffic to our media company. No. They probably looked it up, and NBC is probably so scared of their own shadow that they said, well, we can't promote a media company. So then they're like, let's look up what his real estate company is, and they take the old company because Connecticut made us change the name of the company because Connecticut is scared of teams. Everybody's scared of everybody. And then we end up with the outdated name.
I mean, when was the last time we even had that name? It's got to.
That was Connecticut made us change the name a year and a half ago. Yeah, January 1st of 2022.
It was One Plus company. Like we changed that a couple years ago. I mean, I was like,
literally the most outdated name of any company they could have found.
Yes.
Okay, so poor job NBC. Not surprised that you screwed this up.
Oh boy.
And I hope somebody legitimate picks up the NBC spot and gives me some real credit. Maybe
so it's about you.
Well, they wasted my time, is how I feel like. I'm They wasted my time. Then they couldn't even get the name right.
It's been like 2 weeks of wasting your time.
They had some.
First, it was the
psychiatrist on there validating these feelings. Let's get to work, people.
The Minifans.
The only reason Americans are able to upload this type of reactions on TikTok on Bare Minimum Monday is because of the hard work that their parents and their grandparents did to build this country. Americans, we quoted the stat, are 400% more productive than other countries. It's the only reason you have the luxury to lay around in your PJs and have the Sunday scaries is because of the hard work people put in front of you. And if we, as a society today, don't decide to get up and go to work and do the things to advance our lives and advance our future, then we're going to be one of those third world countries someday. Your kids will be growing up in a third world situation because you had the Sunday scaries and wanted to do a Bare Minimum Monday. Don't be that bare minimum agent. Be the better agent. Everyone is telling you what to do, and we actually show you how to do it. That's in our BAMX community, where we have BAMX courses every single month from our internal team. We have live streams and a Facebook community where we are sharing things that is nowhere to be found on the internet. We also have massive discounts on all of our BAM creator courses. Join BAMX today using discount code REALWORD to get 10% off the annual subscription. Use the code REALWORD to get 10% off your BAMX subscription, the annual subscription, today. Wake up, people. Go out there. Be productive. You just feel better when you get stuff done. You get more energy. You get a better mental clarity when you're a productive member of society, not some loaf sitting around on your couch doing TikToks. And more people, Nicole, are ending up on their couch. Racket number 2. NAR reports that agents are leaving the business. For the first time in nearly a decade, NAR has lost membership. They are down almost 0.7%, so 0.66 to be exact. The grand total now of NAR memberships currently is 1,537,418. Okay, that's down from over 1.58 million at the year end. All right, Nicole. So which state? Let's go through the top states with current highest membership.
That's just from 12/31/22 to April. Go down, right? 158 to 153 is just the first 4 months of 2023.
That's just the first 4 months. So in the first 4 months, we've lost, what would that be? 40,000 in just the first 4 months across the country.
10,000 a month.
All right, the states with the most NAR membership, Florida is number 1, over 200,000 at 217,000 agents. It makes sense that Florida would be number 1. They have the highest inbound migration, so people see that. They're moving there. They want to become an agent, help these people find new homes, I would assume.
I wonder if that counts for this is just for NAR. So I guess it wouldn't if you were doing dual location. I wonder if that includes dual location.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I do not know the answer to that. This
I mean, it would be NAR. So I'm assuming if you were in Connecticut and then went to Florida, you're already NAR. So you're not necessarily joining. But I'm curious to see because think about how many people up here are now like, oh, everyone's going to Florida. Let me try to cash in on that.
Yeah, when you're dual license, you're not a NAR member twice. You're a NAR member once.
Right.
So
maybe not.
Probably not.
I would assume not.
Yeah, I would assume not too. That's just an assumption. We don't know.
Super assumption.
We'll link up the whole entire document from NAR. It's a 2-page document in our sources down below if you want to check this out. California is number 2, almost 200,000 agents. Texas, number 3, almost 150,000. Followed by New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Arizona, Illinois, all over 50,000 total agents. Georgia is next at 46,000. Pennsylvania at 37,000. So those states right there that I just rattled off almost total 1 million of the 1.5. That's 924,000 agents right there. Now, out of those states, the ones that actually Florida gained.
Florida did gain.
Change from April of last year to April of this year. They gained almost 2%. California's down 3.5%. Texas gained almost 2%. New York is down. Jersey's down. North Carolina, Arizona, Illinois, Georgia, Pennsylvania, all down when you look at those states, okay? Other states that were down big, Virginia down 3%. Maryland down 3.5%. Massachusetts down 3.5%. Washington down 4.5%. Nevada down almost 5%.
Wow.
So a lot of agents getting out in Nevada. Now Las Vegas was one of those locations where you actually saw sales prices decline.
Interesting. I feel like you always do. I feel like Vegas gets hit the first.
Definitely. Oregon down over 3%. And you have, who else is up? Oh, look at this. District of Columbia, DC, down over 6%.
Wow.
Rhode Island almost 3% down. And New Hampshire's down 3%. And so Vermont is also down 3.37%. Vermont, by the way, the state with the lowest NAR membership of 1,800. So if you're looking for a state to maybe disrupt,
right?
Vermont is your. If you're a skier, go to Vermont.
That's the place to go.
All right, the ones with the big gain from April of last year to April of this year would be Indiana had a 2%, over 2% jump.
There's not. Oh, right there, 3.57.
Arkansas 3.57 jump in NAR membership. And that would be it.
Yeah, I mean,
until Florida.
New York. Oh, yeah, I mean, Florida.
Tennessee
Florida
had 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so not many.
Really Arkansas.
Most states are down.
Indiana.
The entire list is down below. And that leads us to the big question. We've got 3 videos to react to. This first one, is it worth getting your real estate license in 2023? So this is from Stephanie Kebed. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but this is a YouTube short. And she's answering the question if it's worth getting your license in 2023. Then we have an old school broker and then a new school agent turned YouTube influencer.
Are we listening to all of them back to back?
We're going to listen to all 3 back.
Okay.
We'll listen to the first one.
I haven't heard them yet.
We'll listen to the first one, then we'll set the stage for the next 2. We'll listen to those 2. Nicole hasn't heard any of them.
I haven't heard any of them yet.
And we're going to react. Really, is it worth getting your license in 2023? And then if the answer is yes, what should you be doing? Let's watch the first one. Nicole.
Okay.
So is it worth getting your real estate license now? And yeah, I definitely think people, if you want to go get your real estate license, go get it. But if you don't know, because right now it's like a crazy market, right? So like there's a lot of realtors going broke. There's a lot of realtors that cannot afford their rent because they don't know how to transition and how to adapt to this new market. So maybe it's best to have a part-time job while you're getting your real estate license and go about that way. And then once you fully build up your real estate business, then you can drop that part-time job and go from there. That probably will be the best scenario that I'm thinking right now for new agents coming into the business.
All right, so there's just 2 things here. Number 1, Tom Toole would coach her up on, don't say it's a crazy market.
Yeah,
it's a complicated market. It's a
complex
complex market.
Say crazy, yeah.
Stephanie, that's just being a little nitpicky there.
A little nitpicky, but
watching the language.
Anyway, but we found your video, so.
I love the video.
Love it.
And I love the way you answered. I think it's absolutely the right time to get into the business. The best businesses are built during these down markets. I say that over and over again. I got in at the bottom of the Connecticut. You did too.
I did as well.
At the very bottom of the Connecticut market, we found great opportunity in being able to build a business then.
Yes.
And these shorts you can take people out of context on these shorts pretty easily. She said, and I've come around on this full circle. Hey, I think you can go have a part-time job and be a real estate agent. The caveat is, I don't know if that's the right word.
It's the right word. Yeah.
Would be that having a part-time job doesn't mean you can do real estate part-time. It means you've got to work like 70 hours a week if you want to make it in this business. Right. You're going to have to do your real estate business full-time. And I understand it's hard to make it in the beginning, so you need that income coming in to pay your bills.
Right.
So have that part-time job, wait tables at night, bartending, a number of different things that you could be doing part-time that don't necessarily impact your ability to serve clients, to service the community. You still got to work 40, 50 hours to make this thing work for you. Of course. So it's like, are you committed to working 70 or 80 hours in the beginning? Because that's what it's going to take. Now let's listen to these 2.
Well, I think also, and just to piggyback that, I haven't watched the others, so I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, but I had a part-time job when I got my real estate license, but I was someone's admin. So like, if you can even find a part-time job in the business, like uploading things into MLS or again, doing the paper pushing, like back then,
you can be a TC. And work that
because now
side
you're
of the business.
learning it, you're getting it. Like it's funny because everyone would laugh at me now because I was an admin. I mean, I'm a disaster now. now. But back then we had
paperwork disaster, not
paperwork disaster. Yeah. But like we had top producer back then. So like I was doing like the weekly mailings of like anniversaries and again, all really great things to get. Like
who in the comments had top producer back in the day? Let us. Well, that'll tell us how many years you've been in the business. Did you ever have top producer CRM?
Is that still? It's still around, isn't it?
I don't. That's a good question. Is it still around?
Because I feel
that was the first one that I ever saw.
I feel like it's still around. But anyway, I mean, even if you can get a job in the business,
if you remember top producer and Active Rain, let us know in the comments.
Oh, I've never heard of Active Rain.
That was like the blogging site.
Oh, I didn't do that. I was just trying to keep my head afloat.
All right, let's see what this commercial real estate broker. What his advice would be to young people getting into the business.
But this is for commercial real estate.
But it's real estate overall, so I think it's worth listening to. Right. And then we're going to react to Graham Stephan and his advice.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Question for you. Sure. If you were to go back to when you were in either high school or college and you're having a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what is the best piece of advice that you would tell your younger self?
Well, if I'm 20 years old and I'm in high school, I would tell myself to get my shit together. Dumbass. 2 years late. If I was in college and I was 20 years old, stop chasing girls and drinking beer. Just because you make a bunch of money, don't go out and buy the Porsche with the whale tail and all that.
What was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
It's in the 7 digits.
What industry did you ultimately pursue a career in?
Commercial real estate.
How can someone break into commercial real estate in today's world?
It's all relationship-based. So if you're just starting out commercial real estate, you need to know every building. You need to be in the lobby of every building, figure out what's going on in there. Being busy creates opportunity. If somebody tells you no, don't take no for an answer.
What I loved about that one, and this is I think playing off what we just talked about, where you're going to have to work a lot of hours.
Right.
Being busy creates opportunity. Sitting in your bedroom is not going to create the opportunity. He's talking about being in the arena. So being in those buildings, knowing everything, knowing everybody, being in the community. If you're a residential agent, being, in the community, knowing everybody that runs the HOA, if it's an HOA community, knowing the people that run all the local businesses, being at the house, learning about the properties, just being out there and being busy all the time, every day.
Of course.
Racking up gas or get a electric car and rack up electric bills. You're going to have to be in your car all the time, maybe in an Uber or if you're in a walkable community, great. But you're going to need to be out in the field
for sure.
a lot.
Of course. I mean, like you're talking about even just home inspections. Like, man, I used to piggyback people's home inspections all the time so that I knew about HVACs when my buyers would ask, or I would know about like how many times people are like, oh, how many zones? You can actually now go in the basement and figure out how many zones. Like it's just, it's little things like that.
It's Malcolm Gladwell. It's understanding I need the hours, the experience of 10,000 hours to actually be an expert in my craft. And a lot of people get into the business and they get worried about, well, I'm going to waste my time. This person's not qualified, this or not. Let's listen to Graham Stephan, who's now a multimillionaire. He's a big YouTube influencer, but started out as a real estate agent. And he talks about his experience as a brand new agent in this clip. And I think this ties a bow on this perfectly.
I was like 19 years old. This guy calls me at 9 p.m. on a Friday and says, hey, I want to see this place. I know it's late, but like I'm just finishing up dinner. Could you show it to me at like 9:40 p.m. on a Friday night? I'm talking about a house here. I show up at 9:40. The dude does not show up. And I call. He keeps saying, oh, I'm 10 minutes away, 10 minutes away, 10 minutes away. He shows up at like 10:30. And I'm pissed, but I hide it. It turned out we became really good friends. Still to this day, he ended up leasing another place, referring me really good business, and then buying a spot. And like, had I let that cloud my judgment of like, no, you're better, be on time, what would that serve me,
He's looking back and he's reflecting on all the opportunities he would have lost.
Right.
Think about the referrals. He's like, we're really good friends. We still do business. I mean, this person's probably referred business, introduced him to others, maybe business opportunities. All of that would have been lost if he decided it's Friday night. I'd rather go home, lay on the couch, and make a bare minimum Monday post, which didn't exist then. But you get the gist. When you just want to complain on the internet,
right?
And this is a podcast right here. You should be sending over to that new agent in your office who's like, hey, am I wasting my time, going out on this showing? My time's valuable. Listen, if you don't have any transactions in this business, your time's not valuable to the business.
Right.
Okay. The business is valuable to you. And you inputting your time into it is everything if you want to make it. The agents that make it are the ones that do what Graham did. Take that leap of faith to meet more people. The more people you meet, the more relationships you create, the more opportunities are going to come your way. They don't get created by sitting on the internet complaining that a buyer's not qualified or somebody wasted your time or it's Friday night or it's inconvenient for me or I don't like to work the weekends. I want to do it my way. Your way is going to be the way that 87% of people have, walked towards, which is failure. You see that agents are getting out of the business. If you want to join them, then be a complainer, be a bare minimum Mondayer. If you want to be on the other side of the agents that are getting out of the business, then understand that your time at 0 transactions, at 10 transactions, at 20 transactions isn't valuable at all. Your time should be committed and pouring into the business and gaining those Malcolm Gladwell hours, earning the respect, earning the credibility. And at that moment, then you'll be able to reflect back like a Graham Stephan and say, geez, I'm glad I actually did it. I'm glad I made something of myself instead of taking the easy way out.
I think on top of that too, I know you're talking about time, but I think you have to make sure you're not counting the dollars either. I think maybe my second deal in real estate, I met them at an open house, loved them. And I found out later on that they were a relo. So I now had to pay the relo company like 35%. And then there was a cap on my commission. I was like, whatever, fine, I'll do it. And then midway through, they wanted me to drive an hour away to a town that I didn't really know about. But I'm like, all right, let's just do this. We don't have anything else going on. So I probably made maybe $1,500 off of this deal. I worked with them forever, loved them. But from there, they bought a house from a flipper that I ended up becoming very close with, that we then ended up flipping probably, 100 houses along the shore from there. So I was able to then, again, from this open house that turned into a relo that I made like $1,500 from, I was then able
tons of transactions.
Tons and tons of it completely changed my entire business around.
And it could have been the difference of you building the career that you've built and not building the career.
100%. If I decided not to go to that open house, again, I had a 1 year, not even a 1-year-old at home. I had a 2-year-old and I could have very easily taken that Sunday off. But then again, when I found out they were a relo and I had to give all this money to everybody else but myself, I could have easily said no to them, but I was like, no, let's do this. I love you guys. And then again, they said, don't hate us, but we want to go to this one town. And I was like, all right, Nicole, let's go to that town. This is a great opportunity for you to learn about it. I guarantee you my career would have, I'm certain it would have turned out the same way. I just don't think it would have moved as quickly.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what would have happened?
Who knows?
I can tell you one thing: these opportunities and relationships that you create matter.
Oh,
they matter
for sure.
a lot.
I mean, I was making 6 figures easy the next year. And the prior year, again, I made $1,500 off that one deal. Yeah. So I mean, it was a game changer.
Just take the link that we have down below, the NAR link, and look at how many agents are in your state. I don't care what state you're in, even if you're in that little Vermont state there of 1,800 agents, and probably not too many transactions in Vermont, right? It's a competitive environment no matter what state you operate in, no matter where you operate in Canada. It's very competitive in this business. Mm-hmm. And so I hope this whole podcast was a reminder of doing those little things, going the extra mile. They will mean everything for your career and for your business. So share this with somebody who needs to hear that. And
congrats on your big NBC debut.
Way to go, NBC. Way to screw me. NBC and Barstool Sports.
But look at you. Could put on your resume now.
You're right in the same category.
Do you have that on your resume? You had that on a resume.
What? That NBC screwed me?
No. My Lord.
Way to go, Lester Holt.
I'm trying to congratulate you.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
That's it. You're welcome.
What an accomplishment. Thank you. This show matters to me more than anything. So thank you, everybody who tunes into The Real Word. We appreciate you. Keep it real. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.